You ever walk away from a conversation and just get that feeling you missed something, a signal, a hint, something that wasn't actually said out loud? Well, today we're going to decode that silent language of attraction. We're talking about those subtle, instinctual cues that reveal true interest, often without a single word ever being spoken.
So let's just dive right in. It's totally possible that someone in your life is sending these signals right now. The good news is this isn't about learning to read minds. It's about learning to see a form of communication that's happening all the time, just kind of bubbling right below the surface.
And this quote, wow, it just nails it. We're not talking about some checklist or planned out strategy. This is about the subconscious taking the wheel. When a woman feels a genuine connection, her instincts just kick in and her body starts communicating long before her mind has a chance to catch up. And that's exactly what we're looking for.
Right, so this is what we call the unspoken language. Look, big, obvious declarations of attraction are actually pretty rare, especially at the beginning. Instead, what you get are these subtle invitations, little moments where she shows a bit of vulnerability or her behavior just shifts. It's like a quiet test to see if you're actually paying attention.
And it's so important to know the difference between these cues and just, being polite. A polite smile, that's one thing. But an instinctive gut reaction that she can't fully control, one that comes from a place of feeling safe and genuinely curious, that's something else entirely. It's basically her subconscious giving you a green light, even if she hasn't consciously decided to yet.
So where do these first signs start to show up? Well, it all begins with attention. Just pay attention to how her focus and her whole energy kind of shift when you're in the room versus when you're not. This is often the very first clue that to her, you're not just another face in the crowd.
Look at this comparison, it makes it so clear. With other people, it's standard. But with you, her focus sharpens. Her gaze holds on for just that extra beat. Her tone gets a little softer. Her energy actually starts to mirror yours. And this isn't random. It's her nervous system subconsciously saying, hey, I'm in sync with this person, I feel comfortable here.
And you can see this alignment physically as her guard starts to come down. Notice the small stuff. Her shoulders are more relaxed. She does little comfort gestures like playing with her hair. Her breathing gets slower when you're close. But honestly, the biggest tell is when she starts tuning into your emotional state. When she's the one who notices you're a bit off, that's her switching from just a passive observer to an active, emotionally invested participant.
Okay, so once that baseline of comfort is there, something else starts to happen. She begins to take these small emotional risks. This is what we call opening the emotional door. And this doesn't happen all at once. It's more like a gradual unfolding. Step 1 might be a personal story from her past. Step 2, she might admit a small, seemingly silly fear. And step 3, maybe she shares a private dream she holds close. Each little step is a test of trust, an invitation to see if you're a safe place for her inner world.
And it's so important to get this. This is never random. This kind of emotional access is reserved for people who make her feel a real sense of trust and stability. When she starts doing this, she's signaling that something about your presence just feels uniquely safe and grounded to her.
All right, here's a sign that's super easy to miss but incredibly powerful. She remembers the one small detail. The name of your childhood dog, that random goal you mentioned weeks ago in passing. Our brains are literally wired to filter out unimportant stuff. So when she holds on to a small detail about you, it means her brain has flagged you as important. You're not just background noise anymore. You're a priority.
Now we're getting into the really interesting part, the stage where logic kind of takes a back seat. Her feelings start to move faster than her thoughts, and that initial attraction shifts from something she thinks about to a powerful, undeniable instinct.
So you'll start to notice these instinctive pulls in a few key ways. She'll start integrating you into her world. She'll show you all the different sides of her personality, find little excuses to be physically closer, and her laughter around you will become genuinely free and uncontrolled. She'll ask deeper questions, not like an interview, but because she's trying to see how your world fits with hers. And a huge one, she'll start letting you influence her choices. That's a massive sign of trust.
All these threads, the attention, the vulnerability, the instinct, they all start weaving together into something much more solid. This is where simple attraction evolves into something way deeper and more stable, a sense of certainty about you.
So what does this certainty actually feel like? Well, it's not some sudden spark or a flash of lightning. It's a deep, calm, steady pull. It's that feeling of emotional safety that comes from trusting not just what you do, but who you are. It's her subconscious finally saying, he gets it. He gets me. When she reaches this point, you'll hear it in her language. She'll start talking about the future with you in it, even in little ways. She might even share her deepest fears about love, not as a warning, but as a final vulnerability test. And you'll see her efforts start to match yours, quietly supporting your goals from the sidelines. That's the moment she has, on an emotional level, chosen you.
So how are you supposed to respond when you see these signs building up? The absolute key is not to rush it or apply a bunch of pressure. The best response is just calm, mature emotional strength.
She isn't searching for a hero to swoop in and rescue her. She's looking for a grounded, respectful partner who's aware of himself and the situation.
And really, that brings us to the final thought. These signs, they're not a test you have to pass or fail. They're an invitation to step a little closer, to build something real. They're a door that's being quietly opened for you. So the only question left is, how are you going to respond?